Hey, what is up, everyone? My name is Abby Friel, and I'm going to turn my phone off so we don't have interruptions. But today, I am back. I am doing another Schmoedown Tea Time, and we will be breaking down the family versus the Paddington 2 match of the Schmoedown 2019 Teams Tournament. This has been a crazy tournament. I have really enjoyed being able to talk about it in my live streams. I'm excited to do a full video reaction to it like I used to because I have missed doing those and I have had a very busy semester and now I finally have time to sit down and just react like I used to. This tournament has very much just like shooken me to my core, and that is not a word, but it really has. Like, I've just been shooketh this entire tournament. And even matches where I predicted who the winner would be, the losers have really come out strong, and it has been a very exciting tournament to watch. Honestly, when I was predicting it, it was kind of more of a toss-up than I would have originally thought, because the Paddington 2 are a very strong team, and the family, though they are both very good players, they are still a new team, and the Paddington 2 has chemistry. They just don't understand the rules as much, I feel like, which is weird because they've been playing for so long. But there was a match like this tournament where it was like they didn't know if they had a repeat or like multiple choice, and it was like literally round 3 or something, and I was like it was very stressful to watch. So I know that they know the trivia, I just don't know if they know the rules yet, and it's literally the second round of the tournament. So if the family wins today, which I hope they do, the tea between Who's the Boss and the family would be so hot and so piping that like the whole Schmoedown world would just explode. Or maybe that's just like a me thing, but I am very much looking forward to seeing Ben Bateman go up against Andrew Guy in the teams tournament. They've had such a rocky year as enemies and as former teammates. I mean, I've talked about it a million times. I am Team Bateman, but just to see them go up against each other, especially after the great singles tournament that Ben has had, and, you know, Mark Riley wanting a comeback in his own type of way, and Drew McWeeny wanting to come back, like, the drama in that match would just be, I don't know what that was, but, like, it would be so good. It would be amazing. So I'm hoping the family wins today.
Let me call you back, Zip.
Oh my god. That's literally Brandon Hanna.
What are you doing here? Don't worry about it.
So the pre-match scene has been a continuing bit that has been covering a few of the latest matches where Kaiser and Kevin Smets are going through Universal. I've never been more shook by someone appearing in a scene because I truly did not see that Brandon Hanna was in the background. And then when he popped up, like, wow, like shook. I think that's going to be just like the theme for like today's match, because it is one of the words I've been saying a lot lately, is just like shook. So we're shook. As for Brandon Hanna being a part of the family, the last time I did a reaction video, I think was like the final confirmation that he was in the family. He has been fitting in as a heel. It does break my heart that he is actually a member of the family. I didn't believe it at first. I was very much in denial. I was still kind of hoping he was a member of the Horsemen and he was going to be like a spy, but no, he's just like straight up a member of the family. And I'm just like, he could have been the go-to Inner Geekdom player for the Five Horsemen, but like, here we are. We're here and he's a member of the family, and there's nothing I can do about it besides complain. So that's what that is, and this scene just reminded me of that. And we're about to see him probably walk out with the family, and I'm still going to be upset about it.
It's the family, the team with the perfect record, going up against morons that don't even know the rules after being in the league for 3 years.
I've been drinking all day, and so if we beat them, I'm going to be talking shit about McQueenie all the time.
So the promos went as expected. The Paddington 2 are kind of more chill as usual, and the family is a lot. Just a lot. Just all the time. They're going to be a lot. I think that Drew McWeeny really does fit in well with Andrew Guy. I have really enjoyed watching them grow as a team from the beginning of the season till now. And even though like Robert Meyer Burnett has been finessing the system for Andrew Guy and Drew McWeeny to be playing together and having more matches where they will most likely win, I think that really worked, because you wouldn't normally assume that they would work well together, but it has been shown in the last couple matches that they are covering each other's weaknesses and they're a strong team. And I think that Robert Meyer Burnett has been a good thing for this team. I think Andrew Guy needs someone that's a stronger player than him, and Drew McWeeny doesn't need someone who's a slacker. And as much as like I'm Team Bateman, like Andrew Guy isn't bad. He's literally like one of the few people who can say they've beat Dan Murrell and Mark Riley. So all my little segments are ending with me going, and I'm sorry. I'm literally I'm sorry about it.
Hugh Jackman and Meg Ryan starred in what 2001 romantic comedy?
Would that be Kate and Leopold?
That would be Kate and Leopold, yes. Alonzo.
Kate and Leopold.
Also correct. Andrew Guy?
Yeah, no.
Nope.
No, okay.
I couldn't come up with it.
Who plays Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid?
Noriyuki Pat Morita.
That is correct
correct.
on many levels, sir. Drew.
Pat Morita.
That
Yep,
is correct.
also right.
Pat Morita.
That is correct.
I also have Noriyuki Pat Morita.
Clancy Brown plays Byron Hadley, the brutal captain of the prison guards in this 1994 drama.
Shawshank Redemption.
All right, we
That
got
is
an
correct.
answer.
I couldn't remember it.
Actually, swing and a miss.
Wow. That would be the Shawshank Redemption.
We
That is
got a
correct.
family up.
Shawshank Redemption.
All right. Ron Howard directed Kurt Russell in this 1991 drama about firefighters.
Backdraft.
That's
Yes.
correct. Drew
Drew
McQueen.
McQueen.
That would be Backdraft.
We
Correct.
got it.
Alonzo.
Backdraft.
We
All
got
right.
it.
And
Backdraft.
what 2016 Disney remake stars Robert Redford and Bryce Dallas Howard?
That would be the lovely Pete's Dragon.
We
That
got a
is
lovely
correct. It
point
would
for you.
indeed
Pete's Dragon.
We got a
That's
point
correct.
for Doraldi.
Pete's Dragon.
Drew McGuire.
McGuire.
McGuire. And
Pete's Dragon.
actually,
That's what
what year saw the release of the films Glory, Tim Burton's Batman, and Born on the 4th of July?
1989.
That's
is
correct,
correct.
sir.
Another summer?
Yep.
1989.
We got
Also
that correct
correct.
there.
1989.
All
right.
right. 89.
A caving expedition goes horribly wrong as the explorers become trapped and ultimately pursued by a strange breed of predators in what 2005 film?
Does not have it.
That actually?
The Descent.
That is correct, but can I see your board?
I wrote
So
Descent.
you only wrote Descent. So unfortunately, with a single word title, we do need the correct
I wrote in
article.
invisible ink. Does that count?
I don't
No, no, I don't
If
see
you
it.
have
No.
3 or 4 pina coladas, you'll be able to see it.
It's
How's
all
that?
the same at that point. Drew McQueenie.
The Descent.
That is
The
correct.
Descent. Drew is
And
still first.
Alonzo?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. What 2014 stop-motion animated film featured the voice talents of Ben Kingsley, Nick Frost, Tracy Morgan, Steve Bloom, and D. Bradley Baker?
Paranorman?
Ooh,
is
right studio,
incorrect.
wrong film.
Drew McQueen for a perfect round.
I have Kubo and the Four Strings.
We do not have a perfect round.
Yep. Also, there were only 2 strings on that
strings.
guitar.
Yeah, I got the right strings, but the wrong one. Kubo and the
Yep,
two
not the right
Yes.
film.
I got Kubo and the Strings. So
Great.
We were looking
close.
for the Box Trolls.
So round one happened. The score is 12-10. I think that the Paddington 2 played very much on brand for them. Honestly, this wasn't the strongest round one showing for Drew Guy. He has used a couple repeats, which are very essential for making sure you have the correct question, and I'm not saying that it was a bad thing to use them, especially when you're in a round 3 situation or even round 2. Like, something like having one JTE rule is really gonna break you if you're struggling and you are in a situation where you need more than one and you need that time to think about it. I think that can really hurt them later. So I'm very stressed about that. Hopefully now, since it's going to be round 2 and they're going to be sitting together, they can kind of just come back together and work together as a team, because round 1, obviously you're separated from your teammates. So maybe it's just your nerves, or you're getting in your head.
We have
Kurt
got
Russell.
Kurt Russell.
Who stars opposite Kurt Russell in the 1987 comedy Overboard?
Not exactly wife. Goldie Hawn.
That
That's
would be
correct.
correct for 2
2 points.
points. Kurt Russell plays a trained killer who is dumped on a barren planet in what 90s sci-fi action film?
Soldier.
Wow,
Also
2
correct
points.
for 2 points. Who plays Kurt Russell's co-lead in 3,000 Miles to Graceland?
Kevin Costner.
That is correct for 2 points. In the movie Captain Ron, why does Captain Ron tell Martin Harvey to stay out of the jungle? A, they might get lost. B, there are gorillas in there. C, the boat was leaving. Or D, it's getting dark.
We'll go with B. There are gorillas.
And that would be correct for 1 point. Who plays Police Chief Hawk in the Kurt Russell classic Escape from New York?
Lee Van Cleef.
That is correct for 2 points. Kurt Russell starred in this 1984 Jonathan Demme film opposite Goldie Hawn.
Swing shift.
That is
Look
correct.
at- they-
Oh, narrowly missed that spinner's
almost to a
choice.
big string. Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, and Adam Sandler play 3 band members looking for their big break who hold a radio station hostage with plastic guns.
Airheads.
Yep, thank you.
Good.
Comedic legend Rodney Dangerfield plays Adam Sandler's father in what comedy?
Mr. Deeds.
That is
Incorrect for a 2-point steal.
Little Nicky.
2-point steal.
Big steal on the part of the Paddington,
Challenge.
too.
He's not. No, I'm sorry. I challenge. He is not.
Challenge.
Harvey Keitel is his father. Rodney Dangerfield is his grandfather.
So the question is thrown out. No points on the board there. And we are going to re-ask a second question. Who played Frederick, the brother of Santa, in Fred Claus?
Vince Vaughn.
That is
That's
correct.
correct for 2 points. Mike Myers followed up Shrek the Third with this financial disappointment of a film in 2008.
The Love Guru.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
It's a very editorialized
epically-
question. What actor plays the nefarious Professor James Moriarty in Holmes and Watson? A. Steve Coogan. B. Ralph Fiennes. Ray Fiennes. C. Hugh Laurie. D. John C. Riley.
B.
That is
That is
correct for
correct.
a point. In Tootsie, actor Michael Dorsey poses as a woman named Dorothy Michaels and is hired to act in what type of TV program?
It's a soap opera.
That is
That
2
is
more
correct.
points. Which actor shows up and is as an aggressive football soccer mega fan in Mad Maynard in Eurotrip? A. Daniel Craig. B. Vinnie Jones. C. Fred Armisen. D. Matt Damon.
Whichever one was Vinnie Jones. B, I think.
B.
Yeah.
That is correct for the point.
The family is still keeping their lead from round 1. It is 22-21 going into round 3. We had the Paddington 2 have the category of Kurt Russell. Comedy category, I would agree with the players. Definitely was like questionable if like those are comedies. I would say like Fred Claus, which is like an iconic movie, is more of just like a family film or a Christmas film. I wouldn't arguably say that's like a comedy, but like that's not my job as a writer. I'm just a fan. So now going into round 3, it is anyone's game. I'm very stressed because Paddington 2 is doing very well. I have never been one to put Paddington 2 down. I have said in my live streams previously that I think they could be a championship caliber team if they just like had like 1 more ounce of effort. And that is like no shade. I just think that they have always been kind of coming in with like the attitude that the Wildberries have. It's just like a little bit more low key and like more chill. Even though the family has the lead, I wouldn't put it past the Paddington 2 to have a great round 3. I'm hoping that they do not because I do want the family to win because I really, really, really want to see who's the boss versus the family. Like so bad. Like that would literally be the best Christmas present ever, would be seeing Andrew Guy go up against Ben Bateman because like that'd be amazing.
Who plays the sultry Sugar Cane in Some Like It Hot?
Marilyn Monroe.
That's correct
2
for
points.
2 points.
Who plays the IMF technical field agent Benji Dunn in the Mission Impossible franchise?
Simon Pegg.
2 points.
2 points. Who plays Colonel William Ludlow, head of the Ludlow family in 1994's Legends of the Fall?
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
He
That's
is
correct.
indeed,
We'll
I
take-
believe, a sir, and he certainly is Anthony Hopkins.
In what 1960s comedy does Walter Matthau angrily throw a plate of linguine against the wall of his apartment?
I played this role in college, and I got to throw the linguine. It's The Odd Couple.
There you
That is
go.
absolutely correct. Name 3 films that have featured Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn starring together.
So Swingers and Made and one of the best sports movies of all time, Rudy.
That is
That is
correct
correct.
for 5 points.
Who played the sole survivor of the Dirty Dozen in The Dirty Dozen?
We're going to go with Lee Marvin.
And your winner, the Paddington 2,
Oh my god.
Charles Bronson was the final answer.
Paddington 2 are like busting people's brackets. Like I'm shook.
And with that,
Oh, the
Paddington
family's not gonna
2
play.
wins the
Who's
game,
the boss?
31-27.
Ah, I'm
That was
sad about
a
that.
big time
Okay.
match.
Certainly was. I mean, who saw that coming? The Paddington 2 is definitely, you know, they're a team that has had some tough breaks here in the movie Trivia Schmoedown. They came in swinging in round 1 of the Ultimate Schmoedown Teams tournament here, and I mean, today they proved that they are here to.
What's that?
Does survive there are multiple survivors at the end of the Dirty Dozen. Yeah. I can't in good conscience win that way. Not against Drew.
All right, we are getting a third.
Okay.
There. Cameras are rolling. We've got
I'm like shooketh. Oh my god. Okay, so just to recap for the people that have probably already seen this match, the family just lost because they didn't answer a question about the Dirty Dozen, correct, but now they are getting another chance because Matt Atchity, who is super kind because he realized that the question was wrong, is like letting them have it. Like he challenged for them after he already won the match. Like we have never seen something this like truly wild in the Schmoedown before. And like that's very stressful because you never really want the questions to be something that people argue about. Like you do want them to be factual, but like mistakes do happen. Like there's a ton of freaking movies in the world. Like stuff like this is gonna happen. I'm just like shook because like would other players do that for like other teams if they win? And then like, oh my god, I just like, wow, like Matt Atchity, like, wow, like winner, like the true winner of today's match, and it hasn't even ended. Like, oh my god, what if the family wins now? Oh my god, like what's gonna happen?
in what war film will you find the phrase "Born to Kill" written on combat helmets?
Well, Full Metal Jacket. Yeah. And on the poster even.
Yeah. And your winner,
Okay.
the family.
Oh my god. There's so much to be said for that moment. I think that is a very historic moment already in the Schmoedown. I was very much anticipating something because I was seeing a lot of like non-spoilery tweets that were like, I'm sobbing at the Schmoedown match. And I was like, what the frick happened? It's literally just the family and Patty. Like, what could have possibly happened? But I'm very excited that the family won. But I'm very, like, just in awe of Matt Atchity doing that because there might have been players that wouldn't have noticed, or maybe they truly still didn't know the answer, and then, like, the controversy would have ended later. We have seen things like this before where a question might be wrong and no one noticed it until, like, the fans did. And so Tough Beats had to play ETC again. And so Tough Beats had to redo the question of their third round against ETC, and that was like a million years ago. So I'm really glad it didn't end up being something like that where the match would have been redone, or the Paddington 2 would have gone on to play Who's the Boss, and maybe if they had beat Who's the Boss, like no one would believe they're legitimate winners because they would always have this like in the back of their mind. So I'm really glad that they were able to honestly play the game and honestly lose to the family. So now, like, even though they lost, that means the family gets to play Who's the Boss. Oh my god, like, Action Army is shaking. Another Andrew Guy versus Ben Bateman. We haven't seen the family play Who's the Boss yet. And so that's going to be tea. We have seen the family play Ben Bateman and Tom Dagnino, but Tom Dagnino is obviously, like, not Mark Riley. And even though Mark Riley has had a little bit of a tough time in the singles tournament and just in the Schmoedown this year, I would argue that I'm very excited and I'm shook. So let's see what they have to say in their post-game interview.
Look, I could have kept my mouth shut, right? But that's not the way to win, right? Like, sure, okay, I could keep my mouth shut. We're gonna take the win. We'll go to the next one. But really, like, that's not okay. I'm not okay with that. Like, I'm gonna act ethically. I'm gonna, and look, like, did it cost us the game? Sure, but you know what? That's the way I play.
He's coming for you, baby! He's coming for you!
The post-game interviews were as expected. It was very nice of the Paddington 2 to honestly play the game, but now we have Andrew Guy and Drew McWeeny, and now they get to play Who's the Boss. And honestly, I think I'm going to give Who's the Boss the slight edge. I know I've said I'm Team Bateman in the past, but I don't know. I think maybe if Who's the Boss is really on their A game, like they have appeared to be this tournament, but now the family is too. Like, they're doing is, I don't know. I feel like Who's the Boss has had the stronger tournament so far. So I think I'm going to be giving the slight edge to Who's the Boss. And no, that is not because I'm Team Bateman. I just think that they are a stronger team and they have more experience. They've been playing for over a year now because corruption did bring them together. And I think Mark and Ben are both very hungry for a win to get to the belt. We all know that they want those belts. And not that Andrew Guy and Drew McWeeny aren't hungry for those belts. I think that Ben and Mark are more hungry for those belts. And I don't really like saying hungry because, like, they're not going to eat the belts. They're going to whatever. So I'm going to predict that Who's the Boss is going to beat the family. So that is it for today's reaction. Today was a truly wild match. Like, I am shooketh to my core. Obviously the biggest like tea moment was the final question and the whole like Dirty Dozen thing. It was very good sportsmanship of Matt Atchity to do that for the family so that everyone can win in good conscience. And yes, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out my other reaction videos, and I do other live streams here on this channel. In terms of my content before Spectacular, I will be doing a couple more reaction videos before then, and of course I will be doing a live reaction thread to the event, probably not the day of. I will most likely wait until the spoiler ban is lifted, and I will be vlogging the event, which I'm very excited about. This has been a crazy good season, and matches like this are the reasons why I love the Schmoedown, and just the excitement of watching a match is always so good. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you, and I will see you guys next time.